Alrighty, so for today's episode of Why Does This Need to Exist, we're going to take a look at the new archetype that was revealed this morning from Burst of Destiny that is going to showcase the Flundereeze monsters. They are a winged beast themed archetype with admittedly adorable artwork that are very much similar to Monarchs, although it seems like they may be even more modernized, which is kind of scary to think about because in their heyday, Monarchs were completely disruptive and very problematic to play against. You know, depending on who you ask. I'm a little biased, but that's fine. Let's take a look at the archetype, and you guys can let me know what you think. I have not read the effects in full, but I've heard quite a bit of hype on the internet this morning, and I thought that I would go ahead and review them for myself. So let's take a look. I have the effects pulled up on the side here, and I'm very interested to see what all the hype is about. So first up is Flundereeze X M-Pen, obviously an Emperor Penguin. If this card is Tribute Summon, you can add one Flundereeze spell or trap from your deck to your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one monster. Okay, that's fine, I guess. It's a level 10, so it's going to need 2 tributes, obviously. While this Tribute Summon monster is on the field, your opponent's special summon monsters in attack position cannot activate their effects. Okay, so it shuts down links completely and forces your opponent to play other things in defense mode. It's not bad. If this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, you can banish one card from your hand. That opponent's monster's current attack and defense become halved until the end of this turn. Okay, not great. I'm not really sure if that's a hard once per turn or anything like that. It doesn't seem like it is, so I guess in theory you could keep having the stats if it was something you couldn't run over, and considering that it can't use its effects, it's not a terrible option to have, but this seems really powerful if there's a way to actually get it out. Next one is Flundereeze X Snowl, obviously a snow owl. I do like the art on these a ton. Once per turn, if you control the Tribute Summon card, you can activate this effect. You can conduct 3 normal summons and or sets this turn instead of 1. That is actually nuts. So I'm guessing you could then summon another monster and then Tribute. I'm guessing that if you normal summon this card, that counts towards your normal summons for the turn. So basically it gives you an extra 2, or if you have this out on the field another way, then you get 3, but you do have to have it has to be Tribute Summon, so you can't just like special it out with something. While this Tribute Summon monster is on the field, if your monster attacks a defense monster, inflicts piercing battle damage. Again, not terrible, simply because it's an add-on, and with Emperor Penguin forcing monsters in attack to have their effects negated, your opponent's likely going to want to put stuff in defense in order to be able to actually use it. Once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish a card from your hand, change all opponent's special summon monsters to face down defense position. That is annoying. That's like a Book of Moon that gives you the ability to basically interrupt plays, similar to Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, for simply banishing a card from the hand. At least that is a hard once per turn, but that still feels like it would be super problematic to have to deal with. Alright, next up we got Flundereeze X Stritch. This is a level 1 wing beast, 700 attack, 1100 defense. You can only use the first and third effects of it once per turn each. You can't special summon during the turn it's used. If this card is normal summon, target one card in either graveyard, banish it, then immediately after its effect resolves, you can normal summon one wing beast monster. That is nuts. Again, you're getting 4 or 5 normal summons a turn with some of these cards. If this face-up card leaves the field, banish it. If a winged beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you can add this card to your hand. That is insane. It's self-recurring. It gives you resources. It's level 1, which is just great typing to have. It obviously has the once per turn restrictions, but wow. That is just an insanely powerful effect. Alright, Flundereeze X Toucan. You can, same thing, first and third effects are hard once returns. When this card is normal summon, target one of your banished Flundereeze cards, add it to your hand. Then you can normal summon a winged beast monster. Wow, the amount of resource this deck can regenerate is disgusting. If this face-up card leaves the field, banish it. If a winged beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you can add it to your hand. So they all have that same effect. Just insanely consistent cards. That is something else. Alright, Eaglin, same deal. If this card is normal summon, you can add one level 7 or higher winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one winged beast monster. Really, really good. It can get you either of your big boss monsters, but it can also search out things like Samorg, either of the new Samorg monsters that came out a little while back in Rising Rampage. So that is just additional icing on the cake. This is a nuts card. Next one is Flundereeze X Rabina. This one, same effects as the other two, but when it's normal summon, you can add one level 4 or lower winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one winged beast monster. That is an insane card. I could see this card being used in decks outside of just this. It can search Droll and Lockbird for whatever that's worth, so, you know, depending on how many normal summons you've used, whether or not you want to get a little something extra to the hand, and have that set up. You know, it's not a bad option to have. It looks like a really, really good card overall, and I have just been informed that Drolan Lockbird is a spellcaster, so it cannot search that. So disregard that portion of what I said. However, it's still an insanely good card that's going to be able to get you access to all kinds of things. Just a great play starter, and I mean, even if it's negated, you have so many normal summons in this deck that it's like hard to imagine that it's going to be, you know, seriously problematic. Next up, we've got Flundereeze and the Mysterious Map. Hard once per turn on both effects. During your main phase, reveal a level 1 Flundereeze monster in your hand. If you do, banish one Flundereeze card with a different name from your deck, then normal summon the monster. This is silly because the card you banish is going to be added right to your hand if it's, you know, one of the monsters. So this is basically a +0. And then if your opponent normal summons a monster, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, normal summon one monster. So you can use this during your opponent's turn to get additional resources back. This is a very, very questionable decision by Konami to make a deck. This seems extremely powerful, at least on the surface. Flundereeze in the Unknown Wind. Second effect is a once per turn. You can conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes by sending 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard instead of tributing. It is still treated as a tribute summon? Holy shit, that's not a hard once per turn. So, oh, yes it is. The translation I was reading was poor. Never mind. So, okay, thank God. I was like, that's disgusting. Alright, during your main phase, you reveal up to 2 Winged Beast monsters in your hand, place them on the bottom of the deck, then draw the same number of cards. Wow, this is a ridiculous card. This is actually disgusting what this does. Outing your opponent's monsters by tributing and still counting it as a tribute summon and also replenishing your deck with draw power. Wow, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm very, very unsettled by it, to be honest with you. And then Flundereeze in the City of Dreams is the next one during the main phase. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 level 4 or lower Winged Beast monster. If you tribute summon a level 7 or higher monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. So you get that extra disruption, and you realistically, you can just use it and normal summon a level 4 or lower Winged Beast monster. It's not even a terrible card outside of its own deck, although it does seem slow being a trap. But these cards are nuts, and I have to take more time to sort of like let it all sort of sink in. But this archetype looks like it's going to be completely devastating. It has some great typing stuff going on. Card of Demise, things like that will work in this deck very, very easily, and you have ways to regenerate your resources too. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below if you think this is going to be an impactful deck. I definitely think that it is going to be something that has a lot of eyes on it and will be something people chase after. Wonder whether or not there's any more support or if this is everything for now. But seriously, some absolutely insane cards. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.